Hello. Today we are going to review rounding to the nearest 10 and then use what we know about rounding to the nearest 10 to learn how to round to the nearest 100. So let's review what we know about rounding to the nearest 10. Let's say that we have been asked to round the number 43 to the nearest 10. Remember, we're going to use the number line. So you're going to draw a number line and we're going to put 3 tags on that number line. The outside tags will be the nearest 10. So remember, I'm going to use this first digit and this is my first 10. So I'm going to put 40 and then count by tens. What's the next 10? 50, and that goes on this tag. And then we have the tag in the middle. The tag in the middle is the 5, that's between 40 and 50, so that's 45. Now we're going to place our number on the number line, and that's going to be somewhere about right here, so there's 43. And now, remember our car? We're going to think about our car. Here's our monster truck, and we're going to think, okay, 43, is that closer to 40 or is it closer to 50? And we can see that it's definitely closer to 40. And so 43 rounds to 40. We're going to use that same concept and round to the nearest 100. So I want you to put the number 136, and we're going to round that to the nearest 100. So again, let's draw our number line. Remember, if you think this is going too fast, you can pause it and rewind if you need to. So again, we're going to put 3 tags on the number line. Our outside tags will be our nearest hundreds. So remember, the same way we did with the tens, the 100 right here, that is our first 100. And then think about counting by hundreds. 100, the next 100 is 200. Then we have to say, okay, what is halfway? Halfway is always a 5, so that would be 150. And then think about your number line and where you would put 136. 136 would be maybe about right here, more or less. And it would be in between 100 and 150. And then again, we think, okay, is that closer to 100 or closer to 200? And it is closer to 100. So 136 rounds to 100. Now remember, the 5s are special. So let's do the 5s for each one so you'll have an example of them. So if I have 35 and I want to round 35, remember that we are going to draw our number line again. 35, that is our first 10, so that's going to be 30. Our next 10 will be 30, 40, and remember we do that one at the end. And then what's halfway between 30 and 40, that's a 5, 35. Wait a minute, that's our number. Well, if I look at that, it's the same amount of space. So if it's the same, I'm always going to move on up to 40. If it's a 5, I'm always going to move on up to 40. Okay, the same thing happens with 5s in the hundreds arena. So if I have, let's see, if I have 250, and I want to round that to the nearest 100. Then my first 100 is 200. My next 100, 200, 300 goes at the end. And then halfway in between is always the 5, 250. Wait a minute, that's our number, and it's halfway in between. So if that's the case, we're always going to move on up to 300. Okay, watch this again if you need to. You're going to get some practice in and check as you go.